Alrighty, Kathleen, it's been great briefly chatting with you off camera. Kathleen, I want to go ahead and just jumpstart into the interview. So, Kathleen, I would love for you to just briefly tell me a little bit about your professional experience.
Yeah, so I was in the teaching field for quite a few years. So I was in Massachusetts. I also taught in Bangkok. And so I worked with a variety of students, ages, as well as any kind of disabilities and all that. And when I left that, I went and did some work in the community with social work, but it wasn't that I was a social worker, but I was kind of the middleman working with the communities that spoke Portuguese only. So sometimes it could be something as they're not sending their kids to school. They think like, oh, it's fine, they don't want to go, and I have to explain to them, no, it's the law, they need to go to school. Something as simple as that. Sometimes it could have been something a little bit more intense going on in the home. So that's when I would come in and, talk about some help that they can have, whether it's mental health, finding counseling, any kind of help that I needed to, gain their trust and so that the child can succeed. And so after I left that job, when I moved down to South Florida, I was there for a couple years. I did some accounts receivable and I did admin work. I worked closely with the COO. So I did a lot of clerical work, calling, collecting payments, whether it was checks, ACH. So I did a lot of Excel spreadsheets. They would want to report every month, but to keep myself organized, I like to do it every week, and then I would combine the whole thing. So I like to have lists to, make sure that I'm organized for that. And also I had like a plan to, make calls every day. So I'm not calling the same person every single day, give them some space. Or, if they tell me, oh, I'll send a check, and then I see it's been a few days or a week. Hey, how's it going? We spoke last week. So I do like to keep myself organized. And then I went on, I left that job because they sold to a different person. Um, the company still exists, but it's under everybody there is different now. And so I went and worked as a government, it was a government contractor as a clerk. So I did a lot of the logistics. So when the whether it was IRS, whether it was Secret Service, they would send stuff. It would stay at the warehouse where I used to work. So I would coordinate the pickups. So I had to be very detail oriented because sometimes it was hazmat. Sometimes it could be something as simple as pepper spray, but it still can cause, that risk of exploding or, so I had to make sure it was with somebody that was licensed to carry that, special insurance, and then it had to be stored somewhere else. Sometimes if it was a pickup that was more than 100K, I had to, also look for those details because there was different things that went along that. So every single day there was pickups. It was quite busy, that job as well. I also would execute whatever decision was the final, they call it disposition order. So that's like the decision the government would send. So they would send it to us, and then we would call up the owner / violator. Hey, you have permission to have your things back. And then I would coordinate that. Sometimes they would come in and scratch off, for example, something that has a mark that's not supposed to be there, and then they can have it back. I did all of that, and now I moved to Central Florida. So I'm here permanently because we bought a house. We didn't have a house down there, and we're closer to some family members, so that's really great. And yeah, that's a little bit, that was quite long, I'm sorry.
No worries. That was beautifully said. I appreciate you being so thorough with your previous experience, which you've done some cool stuff in your experience. Cool in my opinion, right? So you worked with the government, right? You said Secret Service, the IRS. You've done family and child counseling. You've also done accounts receivable, right? You were accounts receivable manager as well at Westworth Electric. So that's also an added bonus or a skill that you have that I'm sure my client can utilize. Now, I want to know, because you worked in a few roles, Kathleen. So as far as systems, what kind of systems have you used or are you familiar with?
They use a lot of their own things. For example, Westworth Electric, they use Bamboo. That's how she did payroll. I use a lot of random things. They called it DMS, things that people don't even know what they mean or what they are. Yeah, I'm a quick learner. I learn all of it. But yeah, DMS. And then for Westworth Electric, she used Bamboo. I use a lot of Excel for her. She didn't use anything like very special.
No
But
worries.
schools
It's
are really
basic Google.
for schools.
Outlook.
Yeah, every single year they wanted us to learn different programs that was better technology, So
Absolutely. Especially with technology nowadays, it's advanced. So we have to catch up with it, especially with Excel too. Well, that's amazing. Now, Kathleen, I know you're looking for a new opportunity. So I just want to make sure that everyone's in an environment they or at a company that aligns with their values. So in the next opportunity that you're looking for, what do you look for in that company?
so somebody that works as a team and truly means it, nobody's trying to stomp on each other to get to the top and, help each other, especially when I used to work as a teacher, we all help each other. It's not a competition, it's for the better of the children. And so in this case, it's for the better of the company. We want the same goal, correct? So, nobody's trying to do better than the other, we're trying to work together as a team. And a supportive environment as well. That's very important because then everybody thrives, not just the boss or the owner, but everybody, the little people down there, and making everybody feel supportive and welcome, and honesty as well. I really appreciate honesty when somebody, tells you, hey, you were doing this part wrong. This is the better way to do it. Or, I do take constructive criticism. Yeah, I really, especially because as a teacher, I love to learn. It's like, yeah, you're right. This is a better way. I'm going to do it this way now. Everybody's trying to help each other. That's very important for me.
Absolutely. Those are great things to have in a future company, and hopefully, everything that you're asking for aligns in this next company. And I'm confident it is, because, I've worked with this company before and they're amazing. But absolutely. Now, my last question, Kathleen, is when were you looking to start a new opportunity?
As soon as next week.
Perfect. Well, that sounds amazing, Kathleen. I'm going to go ahead and conclude this interview. It truly has been lovely chatting with you. So I appreciate your time. You're very welcome. Well, don't hang up on me quite yet, Kathleen. I'm going to continue chatting with you, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.